Welcome to day two of the 49er FX and Nacra 17 European Championship. I'm Alan Block, and welcome to gorgeous Kiel, Germany. It is gorgeous. Again, another perfect day for sailing, for hanging out on the deck, for whatever you want to do. I'm not so upset that I didn't get over to Garda, where your cousin and your brother were, for a few days, but we'll introduce you guys in a quick second. A few words about our sponsors here. A big thanks to Adidas for our morning show, for helping to make this work. It's great to have. They've got amazing gear. Honestly, it's where you go if you're looking to not look like a yachty. I think right now, I think Adidas really has the sportswear market working for sailing. So head over to 49er.org or to nacra17.org. Look for the Adidas link at the top of the page. You get a nice discount and all sorts of great gear for your team, or you can get branded stuff or whatever you want. But we love Adidas gear, and again, we like to look a little bit edgier and hipper than the usual yachties. I think Adidas is doing a nice job of that. Also, Spinnaker-watches.com, new sponsor for the fleet, and great watches. If you use Live25 when you order a Spinnaker watch at Spinnaker-watches.com, you get 25% off these watches. That's meaningful discount. And we're going to give away, I think, 3 watches during the course of our live broadcast. We'll tell you about that contest coming up, but you have to watch our live feeds from this amazing European Championship. We've got live video and tracking and virtual reality and everything on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So watch those, and Spinnaker-watches.com. But let's get to the action. We've had one day of racing for the 49er FX fleet with 3 races for, I think, everybody. I've got Nina Curtis and Haylee Outteridge here from Australia, and it's great to have you guys on board. And obviously, it's a nice Kiel week so far, or a Kiel championship so far, Haylee.
Yeah, I think we've been pretty lucky. Like yesterday had only a few showers in the morning, but we had like really good wind. It's nice and flat. It's coming off the land, so there's plenty of shifts to play with. But the racing's really good.
And I mean, this is obviously early in the cycle. Last time around, Australia didn't send an FX team. What's changing this cycle around, and what do you guys expect for the next couple of years?
For Australia, we plan on working much closer together. We had a bit of a disconnect in the squads in the last Olympic cycle, and this year we've been working really well. We had a huge Australian summer training and testing, and hopefully it pays off. This is our Australia FX team's first event for the season, so we'll see how it goes.
There's always differing approaches. Let's actually just move up here a little bit and let give our director a better chance at getting everyone in the shot. There's always different approaches to training as a squad, as a team. You know, do you work together? At one point, do people start to fight with each other? And, you know, how secretive are you with your techniques and your training? But it seems like the teams that tend to do the best have strong team mentalities. That's where you're headed, you feel like, for this next cycle, Haylee?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's no secret that the more you share, the more you work together, the better you all get, and the more you get to push each other. So in that sense, you know that whoever does get selected for the Olympics has the best chance for a medal. And you know, you'd be silly not to do that. So we're definitely taking that approach, and we have like quite a good squad here, and we have even more boats back in Australia that are coming a little bit later in the season. But yeah, there's so much benefit from having like a really tight group that work together and support each other.
How do you prevent, like, you're all obviously type A obsessive people. I mean, that's how you do, that's why you sacrifice your life to go travel around the world and live out of a box in crappy little rooms, right? How do you sort of prevent that that competitiveness from getting in between your relationships with the rest of your squad?
I think transparency, and then the understanding that it's for the greater good, and then you have to stand up at the time to get selected. So right now it's like you've got to be giving everything and sharing everything, and as long as that exists and everyone can understand that, then it should be a simple.
It sounds tough, though. I mean, it does sound kind of tough.
But at the end of the day, you know, by doing that, it's giving yourself the best chance. And so, yeah, we're all here competing, but we all want to be, you know, the best sailors we can be. And if you don't do that, you're going to get left behind. So it's still, you know, in the back of your mind, it's helping you. It's helping you too.
Our men's squad are the perfect example of that. Like the Australians have been working so close together. And in the last cycle, the teams like under Nathan Goobs were so strong that we can't argue with that. It's time to change.
Well, and if you look around at sort of the most successful teams from the last two, you'd point to the Kiwis, you'd point to the Aussies, you'd point to the British, you'd point to maybe a little bit of Spanish, but not so very isolated Spanish. And the Danish, the Dutch, right? And these are teams that, at least when you see them around, and over the last few years, when I see these teams around, they're very cohesive. Everyone hangs out together. Everyone parties together. They're all friends. It seems to work really well.
Yeah, it's no secret. You know, it's a pretty easy formula when it comes to producing results for a country.
Let's change direction a little bit here. Something we're really interested in, something I think is so great about this super fleet format with these three classes together, is that it's equal, right? We got men's, we got women, and we have mixed, and there's no other grouping really in sailing that works like that. But it seems to be working. I mean, we're seeing now women pulled out of your fleet and going to the Volvo Ocean race. Obviously, big opportunities. I mean, this thing seems to be making a dent. Do you see that happening, or is it just sort of a momentary burp for women sailing?
I think the introduction of the Nacra with the women and men's, and then also the 49er FX, has finally given the girls like a boat that we can go fast in and compete really hard. And I think it's definitely lifting the caliber of racing in these like more extreme avenues of the sport. And it's so good to see some of the girls get rewarded, like breaking into some of the catamaran match racing classes and the extreme series, the Volvo. And I mean, I think it's so important to give girls the experience so that then they can stand up and make the performances that would get them qualified for these roles. And so it's great. It's the best direction, and I really believe it's starting here with these more extreme classes in Olympic sailing.
I think also you're giving the girls who are currently, before the FX, the girls that were currently campaigning for the Olympics, a chance to tap into skills that they already had. But you're also tapping into a whole new group of girls that probably never would have, like I wouldn't have done an Olympic campaign until the FX.
If you had to sail a 470 or a radio or something like that.
No, I wasn't interested. And then the FX came in, and that's the only reason I'm here.
I like it. And, obviously we see your cousin Nathan, I think. Cousin, right? Brother. Nathan. I thought Bo was your brother.
We're all siblings.
You're all siblings. I thought that. All right. Same parents. Fair enough. Your brother Nathan, Outteridge off of Artemis Racing, Burling, Draper. We're seeing these guys come straight out of the 49er class and move into the cup at obviously the highest possible level. And now we're seeing the skill set, now that it's been around for a few years, the skill set on the women in the FX is starting to really climb up there. Is that the next step? Do we see are we going to see FX and maybe Nacra sailors move into these cup boats for real?
Well, I don't see why there's a reason we can't. It obviously has to take a little while for the pathways for the youth to kind of develop and to have that really strong foundation from the youth up. At the moment, it's where everyone's kind of just falling on their feet because I think that they haven't had the chance to grow up in boats that, feed into these ones. So I think it'll be quite interesting to see once the youth kind of like support where this is going in the high performance level.
Let's go to this championship here. After day one, you guys are sort of not doing great, but it's early days. How much effort do you pour into the qualification, and do you just sail each race as best you can?
Absolutely. There's no space to be, cruising. We got a bit unlucky yesterday. We got into so much trouble and had some incidents, but we're really confident with our speed and our equipment at the moment. So we just need to give ourselves a chance to get around the race course without getting into any trouble.
Is it? I mean, I know that a lot of the crews just sort of keep adding muscle and keep getting stronger in these boats. Is fitness play into it? Is it sort of you get fatigued and then you make mistakes, or is it more just keeping your head on for the course of the day?
Yeah, fitness is definitely a factor. The first day, though, everyone's pretty fresh, but also everyone's a little bit, there's all sorts of weird things happening that you wouldn't normally predict. So it's just like keeping your head out of the boat, trying not to assume too much of where what people are going to do, and we just like got a little bit caught out yesterday, unfortunately, and lost quite a few points because of it. But we're pretty excited today. It looks like really, really nice and shifty again. So we'll see what happens.
All right, sounds great. Your fans can follow you on Facebook at Outteridge and Curtis?
Haylee and Nina sailing.
Haylee and Nina sailing. All right, great. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day out there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, so awesome to see these girls here, and honestly, the energy coming from the women moving into the FX and into the Nacra 17 is just, it's a really nice thing to see. This is not just because I have a 2-year-old daughter and I'd like her to have a nice sport to play with in 10 years or whatever. It's just because the sport's been in desperate need of this movement. Other than a few small Olympic classes that tended to be dead ends for women, we just haven't seen this influx and these new skill developments that we're seeing now. And so it's super gratifying to see, and I'm happy to be part of it and happy to meet these amazing girls. I last saw Haylee years ago when she was messing around the Mothies, just trying to get a ride on one from her brother, Nathan. So that's really cool. We've got one more set of guests, and we bring in 2 of them again, a full crew here. And it's a real pleasure to meet foiling generation champion Micah Wilkinson here and Gemma Jones, 4th place in Rio. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Come move in a little bit tighter here because we've got one mic. And folks, apologies for the sound. We're getting you sound, but we'll get it better. It's at the moment, it's a little bit windy out here, and we got cars driving by, but at least it's pretty. So guys, thank you for joining me. And Micah and Gemma, you guys are not usually crewing with each other. You're usually crewing with, I think, Olivia Micah, and you've got Jason Saunders crewing for you usually. How did you hook up for this one?
Worked well for me. Jace is busy doing the Tour de Voilet. It's just finished. He's come 3rd overall. That's
in France in the Trimarans, yeah?
It is, yeah. So he's done really well there, and I've had the pleasure of filling his spot for the last few weeks, and yeah, sailing with Gemma. It's been
big shoes to fill.
It has been. Yep. It's been a lot of learning. It's been great, actually.
Gemma, come in a little closer here. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Director. You can stay here. We're okay. We're all friends here. Do we need to move up a little bit further? Are you good? All right. So now, Gemma, obviously people have been following you closely for a long time. Top female helm in Rio, and really, I think, showing the guys the way at a lot of regattas. And, you're always super happy to talk to everyone, and there's little girls all over New Zealand looking up to you right now. How does that feel? I mean, you are a representative for, you're the top representative, at least in this class, for one of the best sailing countries in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. When I went back home, I did a bit of coaching with some younger girls, and they were pretty excited to have me as their coach and to talk about my journey and all that. And it was pretty cool to see them, their faces get lit up, and I'm following them all now, progressing in their sailing, and it gave them a little bit of confidence. So that was really nice to see, to pass on.
Yeah. So I just talked to Haylee and Nina a bit about squadding and the relationship between the different teams in a squad. And I wonder when the 2 of you get together in a boat like this, are there secrets that you can't share with her? Are there secrets you can't share with him? Like, I mean, you might be competing against each other, for 3 more years here, for the spot, right? Are there secrets?
Well, I mean, the aim is to win both of us to win the medal in Tokyo. So, that's always in the back of your mind, but not really. It's a brand new class. We both want to, 1 and 2 in the world. For the next couple of years would be the dream. So we're working hard to get towards that, and then we can worry about kind of keeping secrets and all that hoo-ha at the end of the, when the qualification begins. But
I think part of it's that you're so young that that even if you're the training partner and you contribute to a medal and with another team, you still got time left.
Yeah, I think both of our goals is a medal for New Zealand rather than for ourselves. So we're just working hard at being at the top of the fleet, and we need each other for that. So
for ourselves. We'll have more time to talk about cup stuff, I'm sure, later. Maybe we'll do a podcast on that one. But so let's talk new boat then. You've had how many days training now?
2 weeks, is it?
couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So what percentage of the boat's capabilities have you tapped into? Like, how much is left?
Well, I'm hoping we've tapped into about 2%. There's about 98 to go. But No, it's cool. I mean, it's the same size boat that we've always sailed, basically with a whole new package underneath. So it's cool. It was cool to get back in the boat after quite a bit of a break and send it on what is a, hopefully a faster platform.
Now you both have experience in other foiling boats. I mean, you've won the foiling generation with Olivia. You've been Red Bull, right? Youth America's Cup team, all that stuff. Is that? Or,
No, that's not me.
That's not you. Well, yeah, I know you were. But have you done much foiling besides this?
Not a whole lot. I did a bit in the GC, but yeah, just Nacra 20s and stuff. Not racing much.
So then we'll talk to you because you've done so much time in the Phantom. Very different setup, right? What's different so far in how you sail the boat?
Comparing to like a Phantom or a GC type boat, it's the biggest difference is the 4-point foiling. It's got we leave all 4 foils in the water all the time, which is great because there's a lot less work to do on board. You don't have to lift foils, drop foils. So as for manoeuvrability, it's great. We can send it into jibes, tacks whenever we want. It doesn't burn the crew out as much as another foiling boat, which is going to be a big advantage. Once everyone gets good at these boats and starts foiling, jibing, and we're going to be throwing the boats around hard.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot lower flying than a lot of foiling boats, but it's cool that it's a lot more manoeuvrable.
And from what you've seen out here in this chop, I mean, we haven't been anything huge yet, but how does it handle the waves just yet? Is that going to take some figuring out?
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of figuring out. We've had a few good crashes, but I don't think it's a big issue. Like any boat, you'll learn to sail it in the conditions. But yeah, no, you're going to see some epic crashes.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Gemma, we saw during the practice racing, we saw like one boat get up on the foils going upwind, sort of bear off to 90 degrees and just send it, and then passed about 7 boats before they came back in. Is that something that we're going to see? Is that going to be a long road, or is it already happening? And is it going to be something that happens quickly among the fleet?
I think everyone's trying to foil upwind. Everyone wants to, but at this stage, it's definitely not good VMG. I really hope it will be eventually. So we're all trying to be better at it. But yeah, hopefully on this regatta, we'll see some boats trying and hopefully some boats succeeding.
I mean, like it's sort of like the Oracle Team New Zealand from San Francisco. Some guys are going to sail around high and slow. Some guys are going to sail around low and fast, and whoever's going to figure it out first is going to do really well.
Yeah, we're hoping to do the opposite of San Francisco this regatta. We'll let some of the other teams, cruise upwind for the first few days, and then we'll jump on the foils upwind and pass them at the last crucial moment. So we'll see what happens.
You've become something of a specialist now of sailing with women. You won the foiling generation with a female helm, and I think in the maybe 29er you were with a female helm. Is that right?
No, I've just since I've sailed with Liv for the last 3 years in the Nacra and the foiling generation, and we did a GC event in Madeira recently.
With the Portuguese, right?
Yeah. It was awesome. It was good fun. The Magenta Project backed that, and they let me loose on main sheet, so we had a lot of fun.
So I mean, in this world that's so rapidly changing with women coming into the very top level of the sport really quickly, what is it about sailing with female drivers that's such a good formula for you?
I mean, I think they have the capability. They are just as good as male helms. There's no doubt about that. I think there's a lot of talk around. They just don't have the experience, and it's really cool to see they're getting the experience. And a lot of times I'd rather have a female helm. Or most times, they really they can be really smooth. I've been sailing with Liv. She's done a lot of foiling now, and she's cruisy as. There's no issues. So
cruisy as, I like that. That's a good nickname, cruisy as. And Gemma, top female helm. Obviously, we said that before, but it hasn't been adopted widespread for the fleet. Still, a majority of the helms in the Nacra 17 are men. Why is that?
I'm not sure. I think the entries to begin with, there's more male entries.
That experience level again.
Yeah, and so there's just more guys trying it. And then, but I think this time round there will be more female helms coming through. I think, for the Olympics there was only 3 girl helms in the whole event, so you can't expect all 3 to be in the top. But yeah.
Will the workload go up now that the boats are foiling, or will it go down? I would guess it would go up. The load should go up, right?
Yeah, I think with the board staying down, it makes it a bit easier for the crews, but then also the loads are a little different. And so
there were a lot of injuries among female crews in the last cycle. A lot. I mean, a lot. And I think it was mostly board up and down that was breaking people, wasn't it?
yeah, I think a lot of it was also impact injuries, which will be even more this time around. So, and that, yeah, it's for both. But I think it's pretty impressive that the girl crews have just found a way around it and, yeah, performed just as well.
What do you think? You think we'll see a bit of a migration to more female helms?
I hope so. I think it'd be awesome if we could balance out a lot more. I think when the Nacra came out, you see a lot of old Tornado helms and stuff, kind of just straight into that helming role, because there was no
And F-18 guys and ACAT guys, same thing.
there was no female, not a lot of females sailing catamarans, full stop. So I think as we get more into the Nacra and develops over the next few years, we're going to see a lot more female helms. Well, I hope to see a lot more female helms, taking on that role.
You gotten a call from Grant Dalton yet?
No, not yet. Still waiting.
Daltz, come on, you need this girl. If you look at New Zealand articles in the Herald or whatever about you're always introduced as sort of with the sailing royalty family. Dad Murray Jones and right, yeah, and your brother's a great match racer now. I think is that.
No, not my brother.
I think your brother's a different Jones.
Different Jones, yeah.
Yeah, all right, that's a different Murray Jones actually. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Anyway. Obviously, Dad 5 times America's Cup winner. Mom a silver medalist, I think. 6-time? Sorry. Mom a silver medalist and a 3-time Olympian. Was this always going to happen for you? Were you always going to the Olympics?
Well, since I was younger, I always wanted to. I saw their lifestyle and I thought I could do that. It looks quite fun.
Is that what it was? Is it looks quite fun, or are you the super driven competitive type? I mean, I would think you are.
Super driven competitive type on this one.
Yeah, cruisy as, right?
Yeah.
Is it cruisy as or is it super driven type A OCD?
Let's go with, there's a lot of super driven in there. There's a bit of cruisy and a lot of super driven. But I think you have to be. I think it's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I love being on the water and love sailing and racing and competing, so it fit me quite well.
Do you get a lot of support from them back home, or they just sort of watch your results and say, "Good, nice job, girl"?
They were here last week. Coaching, and so that was really good, and they'll be at the Worlds, so yeah, but they come and go and they enjoy it.
I just actually remembered that Dad moved over to Team New Zealand this time because I saw him on the base in Bermuda. Sorry about that. Thank you, translator. That's really cool. So how do you feel about this week? You and Thomas, I think Thomas beat you by one place in Rio from Austria, is that right?
Yeah.
So you guys battling again without the gold and silver guys here. Is it going to be a little bit of a war between you and Team Austria?
The silver guys are here, actually, the Australians. But, yeah, I mean, I felt like throughout the last campaign we were always battling a little bit with each other, so it was quite funny that we ended up battling again in the Olympics. But, yeah, I don't know, he's got a new crew, I've got a different crew, and so, I don't know, I think we'll just be surviving the week.
Guys, check out Gemma Jones. Check out Micah Wilkinson on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day out there, and enjoy the upwind foiling. We'll see how it goes, right?
Thanks.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Remember, tomorrow, 11 o'clock CET, 10 o'clock Greenwich. What's that, 4 o'clock U.S. East Coast? I'm not quite sure. And enjoy everything we have to offer for you on Facebook today at 49er Sailing and at Nacra 17 Sailing. We will have some live stuff. I'm going to go out on the water and shoot some phone live video on Facebook on the so watch Nacra 17 Sailing for that around 2:30, I think, local time. And thanks again. Oh, wait. That part I didn't guess. I just did a full close. Come on, we'll do this real quick. I want to hear about the car. So you're Odile?
Yeah.
Odile?
Hi.
Nice to meet you. And you're Nicole. Yes. Tell me your last name.
Van der Velden?
Nicole van der Velden and Odile?
Van Aanholt.
Van Aanholt. Okay. Now, real Arubans or Dutch Arubans?
Well, I'm actually from Curaçao, the island next to Aruba. Yeah. So, Curaçao.
Okay, so Netherlands, Antilles, but genuine. What about you? Genuine or are you Dutch born?
No. I was born in Spain. But I've traveled a lot and lived all over the place. But I've lived on Aruba since I was 8. So most part of my life, yeah. That's
an amazing place to be from. It's an amazing place to train for sailing, but it's kind of far away from everything, right? How does that work into your training program? You just come to Europe for as long as you can.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to spend as much time as we would like in Aruba, just because all the boats are here, and, well, you get best if you train with other people, so, yeah.
And not everywhere has, like, beautiful 20-knot winds every day either, so you don't want to get used to that, right?
Well, it would actually be perfect, especially on the 49er, to just train in wind as much as you can. But if you don't have anyone to train with, then it doesn't really make sense to be there. So it would be nice to have a winter training there, though, honestly.
I'm sure everyone would love to come as long as they could afford to disappear and go to the bottom of the Caribbean. You know, I mean, you're almost sort of sitting on the South American coast down there. Talk about, you've come out of the Nacra, right, with Tice.
Yeah.
And what's the transition been for you like to move to the FX now?
Well, it's been a bit of a change all over because I've gone from helming to crewing and changed boats as well. But I think a lot of the experience I have from the Nacra 17 and the helming helps me a lot in the 49er. And I think the boat really, it appeals to me a lot, and it's really acrobatic, and I quite like the whole acrobatic, unstable part to it. So I'm really happy I made a transition, and it's a lot of fun, having a lot of fun in it.
You're not saying that you're an acrobatic and unstable person, are you?
No. I just enjoy it.
Odile, and how did you guys hook up? You had a different crew in your FX sailing, you know, over the last couple of years, and in your 29er days. How did you guys meet?
Well, actually, it was kind of weird because we knew about each other and we knew we were both representing Aruba, but we didn't really know each other. And then we started talking online and calling each other a lot. And then one day we were both traveling from Schiphol airports to different directions. And we just kind of met up there and talked for 2 hours about our goals and everything. And then
So you're from an island where you were on Aruba and you live on Curacao. Is that so? You didn't really meet that way?
No.
Wow, that's crazy. So you meet at Schiphol.
Yeah, we met at an airport. Yes.
Well, I'm not going to keep you too much longer because everyone's starting to get ready. But we were going to have you on at 11 o'clock this morning. Tell me what happened.
Well, we came out of apartment and our car wasn't there.
Yeah.
And it was replaced by this really big truck. So these workers told us, like, yeah, your car's been towed, the Dutch car, and in German. And we're like, okay. And then some guy on a bike came and he's like, you have to go down that road and walk like 1K and then you'll find your car. So we started walking, tried to get a lift. No one was helping us. And we're like, we're not going to make the racing. And so this Audi sailing car passed. And it stopped and came back, and I was like, yay, some sailors! And it was Vicky and Annika, the German girls. So they took us to where the car was supposed to be, because it was on that road, but it wasn't there. So then we ended up getting a ride with them. So we're still carless, but we know it's
at least you're here.
And we're here, so that's good.
You didn't have anything important in the car, right?
Just my sunglasses.
You want to borrow mine for the day?
I think I'll survive.
All right. They're yours if you want them. They're sparey, but... Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day out there today. It's great to meet you, and it's great to see Aruba here. It's a wonderful, wonderful. Well, all the ABCs are wonderful. I love them. Enjoy your day out there today.
Thank you.
All right, we'll do one more wrap then. Watch us tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Thanks, girls. We'll have another great group to talk to you tomorrow, and check these girls out on Facebook. It's Odile and Nicole. And that's the FX Fleet. We will not do any live stuff from the FX Fleet today, but remember, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, full live video, tracking, commentary, what other good stuff? All sorts of good stuff, giveaways, free watches. And speaking of time, we got to go. Let's go sailing.